This is a list of grading systems used by countries of the world, first organized by continent, with links to specifics in many entries. Africa, Kenya, Libya, South Africa. Most universities follow a model based on the British system. Thus, at the University of Cape Town and the University of South Africa, the percentages are calibrated as follows. A first-class pass is given for 75% and above, a second for 70 to 74%, a second for 60% to 69%, and a third for 50 to 59%. Any lower than 50% is a fail. The University of the Witwatersrand considers NATE to be 75% and above. Tanzania, Asia. Different countries in Asia have a variety of grading scales. Grading scales for some countries in that part of the world are described in this article. Mongolia, University, China, Hong Kong. Below are the percentages and the grade and GPA equivalents. University, India. Grading in universities. Indian universities follow a percentage system and Indian institutes of technology follow a 10-point GPA system. The percentage system works as maximum marks 100, minimum marks 0, minimum marks required for passing 40 or 30. Asterisk at selected India institutions. A lower percentage may be considered passing. The 8-point GPA introduced by University of Mumbai from academic year 2012-13 is categorized as follows. The 10-point GPA followed by Indian Institutes of Technology is categorized as follows. Some universities follow weighted average pattern to calculate percentage. First and second semester 40% of the aggregate marks, third and fourth semester 60% of the aggregate marks, fifth and sixth semester 80% of the aggregate marks, seventh and eighth semester 100% of the aggregate marks. International grade conversion by World Education Services for percentages scored in Indian universities. Asterisk at selected institutions. A lower grade may be considered passing. Grading in high school until high school, an averaged percentage is provided. A percentage over 90 is considered excellent, between 70 to 89 is considered to be first division, between 50 to 69 is considered to be second division, between 40 to 49 is considered to be pass, though these terminologies and classifications depend on the Board of Education. Indonesia, another good institution grading system. Afghanistan. The highest score receivable at schools and universities is 100. Depending on the school and the grade of study, a good mark varies, but in most occasions 75 or higher is considered to be a good one. Iran. In schools, grades are based on 20. Depending on the school and the grade of study, a good mark varies, but in most occasions 16 or higher is considered to be a good one. This system of grading based on 20 is also common in universities, but sometimes percent scoring is also used in higher educational systems. Iraq. Most of the primary, middle and high schools in Iraq grade out of 100% with a passing grade of 50%. So the grade point averages out of 100. Most of the post-secondary institutions uses the word grading system described below. Israel. The 100-point grading scale is as follows. Japan. In Japan, following the reorganization of national universities in 2004, the Ministry of Education, Sports and Culture has encouraged both public and private universities to adopt a GPA system. Other higher education institutions give grades on a scale from 0 to 100, or a few universities apply letter grades, while for years an A grade range was from 80 to 100 points. Some schools have started to give the 90 to 100 point range a special grade to indicate excellence. A failing grade is generally called an E, though some institutions use F. Kazakhstan. According to standardized credit system accepted in the Republic of Kazakhstan, the measurements of varying levels of comprehension in the realm of higher education in the Republic of Kazakhstan of the following. Kuwait employs a 4-point grading system and percentages. Kyrgyzstan employs a 5-point grading system. Lebanon, the Lebanese schools follow either the French grading system or the American grading system. Most schools use a 0 to 20 scale where the passing grade is 10 out of 20. It depends on the program the school is offering. If French, Lebanese baccalaureate, the 0 to 20 scale is used with some exceptions. IB schools unanimously use a 100-point scale if not an American grading scale. In the typical school offering a Lebanese curriculum, getting high grades is very hard because teachers do not use the full scale. For instance, the highest score one can earn in essay writing in some schools is 14 out of 20. Each subject has a weight and thus contributes differently towards the overall score, the general average. This weight is determined by the credit hours. For instance, Math x 20 equals 120. Example, sample grades, English, Math, Biology, general average, Moyenne General 12.575 students graduating Lebanese of French BACC, enter universities as sophomores not freshmen and can complete their degrees in 3 years. U.S. equivalent scale, U.S. grade equivalent, 14 to 20, A plus 13 to 13.9, A 11 to 12.9, B plus 10 to 10.9, B 9.5 to 9.9, B minus 9.1 to 9.4, C plus 9, C 8 to 8.9, C minus 6.5 to 7.9, D below 6. F. In some universities the American grading system is used. Others use the 0 to 100 scale where the passing grade is 60 or 70 depending on the course. French system universities use the 0 to 20 grading scale. Malaysia has its own educational grading system. Different level and institution of education uses different grading scheme. This is an example of grading system practiced in a university in Malaysia. Until high school, an averaged percentage is provided. A percentage over 80 is considered excellent, between 60 and 80 is considered to be first division, between 40 and 60 is considered to be second division. The percentage system works as maximum marks 100, minimum marks 0, minimum marks required for passing 35. 100 to 91% considered excellent, 75 to 90% considered very good, 55 to 64% considered good, 45 to 55% considered fair, 41 to 44% considered pass, 0 to 40% considered fail. A percentage above 65% is referred as first division and indicates high intellectual level. Some universities follow weighted average pattern to calculate percentage. First and second semester 40% of the aggregate marks, third and fourth semester 60% of the aggregate marks, fifth and sixth semester 80% of the aggregate marks, seventh and eighth semester 100% of the aggregate marks. The 10-point GPA is categorized as follows: 10 to 9.1 or A plus best, 9 to 8.1 excellent, 8 to 7.1 exceptionally good, 7 to 6.1 very good, 6 to 5.1 good, 5 to 4.1 average, 4 to 3.1 fair, 3.1 to 2 pass, 2 to 0 fail. A GPA of over 7 is generally considered to be an indication of a strong grasp of all subjects. Pakistan grading scheme. In the old grading system consisting of division scheme, the range of percentage of marks is as follows. Nowadays most universities of engineering and technology follow following grading system. Palestinian Authority. Schools have grades from 1 to 100 starting from the 4th grade on. In universities both numerical and alphabetical grade systems can be found. It is up to the teacher. Philippines, Saudi Arabia. Most of the universities and colleges and schools in Saudi Arabia are very similar to United States except the way the grades are said. In other universities in Saudi Arabia such as Imam University, King Saud University, King Abdulaziz University, King Khalid University, Princess Nura bint Abdul Rahman University and King Faisal University, the following method is used. Singapore Secondary School. The grades for tertiary education are from 0.0 to 4.0. South Korea Middle School. Points of the students' raw score in midterms and finals. High school. Percentages the student's relative position among other students taking same subject. Thailand. Most high school programs in Thailand use the following 8-point grading system for graduate and postgraduate studies. Universities sometimes use the 10-point grading system. United Arab Emirates. Primary education is free at government-run schools. The grading is managed by the Ministry of Education. However, there are also many schools run by expatriates that are equally successful with their own grading system, or an accepted grading system of the country where the schools are affiliated to or share common standards with. At most universities and colleges, the United Arab Emirates grading system is very similar to the United States' system. Vietnam. The grade scale in Vietnam is from 10 to 1 where 10 is the highest, 10 excellent, 9 very good, 8 good, 7 acceptable, 6 satisfactory, 5 satisfactory, 4 insufficient, 3 insufficient, 2 insufficient, 1 fail. Schools and universities in Vietnam use a 10-point grading scale, with 10 being the highest and 0 being the lowest. Often, 5 is the lowest passing grade. The grading may vary from school to school. It depends on the difficulty of each. The distribution of grades differs from standards in Western countries and strongly depends on the university. In Vietnamese universities, a 10 or 9 is near impossible. Students hardly get more than 8.0 for the final results. Central America. Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Panama. Grading system in Panama is different from universities and schools. Universities use 0 to 100-point grade scaling similar to the United States grading. 71 is required to pass, or the same as a C, while schools use the 0 to 5-point system. Meaning if a student has a 4.5 that is the equivalent of an A or somewhere around the 95-point range. When it comes to the GPA scale though, Panama uses 0 to 3-point scale to determine the student's GPA. So if a student has a 2.5 that is roughly the same as a US student having a 3.0 to 3.5.